What's up, guys? Welcome back to Real Conservative Talk. Now, again, the little button on the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, hit it. Subscribe, please. Also, if you like the video, hit like and share it. It's very easy to do. So, I've decided to make a decision today, and I'm not even kidding about this. This is dead serious. That could ultimately cost me my job within the next 2 months. What's today? April 19th. So yesterday was tax day, April 18th. Filed my taxes. And I am going to refuse to pay the Tennessee privilege tax. Now, most of you have probably not heard of that. That's fine. It's only in 6 states, I believe. Let me read the states out for you. They are Alabama, Connecticut, Delaware, Montana, North Carolina, and Tennessee. Tennessee is also one of those. There's 6. The tax is literally called a professional privilege tax. It's due every year on June 1st. It's $400 for me. Now, for those of you that don't know, I work as an investment advisor. There's a bunch of different names. You can call me financial planner, investment advisor, representative, registered rep, stockbroker, whatever you want to call it. And only 7 professions have to pay this tax. Just 7. Now, that was reduced, it looks like, from 2019. So from 2019, it looks like there's maybe 20. And it's just from the list, it looks like about 20. Now there's 7. I'll read you the 7. Well, maybe not. Let me see. So the 7 currently: an attorney, an agent for securities, which is what I am, a broker-dealer, which is who I would do my business through, an investment advisor, which would be me, but also, so I'm registered as an investment advisor and an agent for securities. A lobbyist, we know what those are. Hell, they should have to pay this. An osteopathic physician and a physician. Now, how random is that? So 3 of them have to do with my industry. 1 is an attorney, 2 are doctors, and 1 is for political purposes. They are trying to get this eliminated. There is a petition going around. I just signed it today. But I also have written a letter to the governor of Tennessee and to the Tennessee Department of Revenue or Commerce. It's really Tennessee Department of Commerce and Insurance. I'm not fucking paying it. Nope. I refuse. And I'll tell you why I refuse. First of all, I'm not going to have any government authority, be it at the state, the local, or the federal level, tell me that it's a privilege to provide for my family and participate in the economy in the state in which I live in. And 2, I'm damn sure not going to pay for the apparent privilege to do any of that. I don't know where our government at any point in time thought it was not only okay, but that they were entitled to levy a tax on someone and tell them that they are privileged to do something. No, motherfuckers. The government is privileged to collect revenue from its citizens. We allow that to happen. We the people. The government was created by the people and for the people. And it is a privilege for the government to be able to tax us. You gotta remember, taxation was a major cause, or the main cause, of the Revolutionary War. Taxation without representation. My problem now is taxation without proper utilization, for one. And I'll get into that here in a minute. But 2, it's my right to go and earn an income and work and provide for my family. I paid for, if you want to say it was a privilege, I paid for that privilege with my 5 exams that I had to take for these licenses and an annual state registration and license renewal fee. Annual. I already pay the government to renew the license every single year. Why the fuck am I paying a $400 tax for the privilege of doing business? Mind you, Tennessee is privileged to have me doing business in their state. How about that? And people should think about this in their own state. This isn't just mine, just because we got this tax. You see, like I said, the government, for whatever reason, feels entitled to my money. They have long forgotten that I'm allowing them to take my money. Whether they think that way or not, we have voted in certain ways to get to where we're at, but I never, and I don't think anyone ever in the state of Tennessee voted to have this tax levied on them. It is an excessive tax, and not only is it an excessive tax, there's only 7 professions, which is a lot less than what it was the year before, meaning they don't have a legitimate reason to levy this tax, and it's extremely discriminatory to these industries. So it's excessive and it's discriminatory, and that makes it unconstitutional. And it's bullshit. If I don't pay the tax and they don't somehow get rid of this, they are putting a bill forward, but probably not in time to collect this year's tax revenue. I'll lose my license. They will freeze my license. You know what? So be it. It's worth the consequences. You know why? Because some things are about right and wrong, and this is flat out wrong. Flat out wrong. Some people may say, Michael, it's only $400 a year. Like, you should be making way more than that in your job. I do. It's not about that. It's not about that. You see, you give them a little bit, they take a damn mile. Especially with taxes, right? Taxes always start very small and levied on few. And it always ends up being much larger and levied on everybody. Look at the federal income tax. We have the most unfair tax system in, not the world, but I think just we have a very unfair tax system. We have a progressive tax system. People have it backwards on how it's unfair. It's really actually more unfair for the wealthier people because the majority of lower earners don't pay federal income taxes. Now, in Tennessee, we don't have a state income tax, but I don't give a fuck. Who cares if we don't have a state income tax? That doesn't mean that I should be subject to this, especially when no one else is. But I don't think state income taxes should exist. We should have a flat tax rate. That's it. Eliminate deductions, flat tax rate, maybe 10 to 13% across the board. Everyone pays the same percentage. But I got to pay $400 to do business in the state for the privilege of doing business in the state. Privilege. And I already have to pay another couple $100 to renew my licenses every year. And I had to pay an initial fee to get registered in the state of Tennessee. I've long paid for the privilege of making money here. Mind you, what do I do with the money I earn? Well, I earn money and it's immediately taxed. But I take that money and I go spend it in the Tennessee economy, which I pay a tax on when I spend it. And then other people are earning my money because they're giving me a good or a service, and the government's taxing it again. At 2 different levels because they're taxing the business for earning it, and they're taxing the employees that the business is paying after they earn it. So the government is taxing it 6 to 7 fucking times before anyone else spends it, and they want to levy a damn privilege tax and tell me I'm privileged for them to allow me to do business. No, that's not how this works. That's not how this works at all. But for whatever reason, our government has forgotten their role and thought it okay to just start trying to, get money somewhere. My theory on this is that some politicians got elected, and some elitists in certain industries went to them and lobbied to them on putting this tax in place as a way not only receive revenue, but also to create another barrier to entry to eliminate competition in that industry and keep new entities from entering the marketplace. A lot of these are commission-based businesses. And it's extremely hard for someone who's new to come into a job making commission, which you can make a lot of money in that role, but it takes time to build up and then start charging $400 a year on a tax that has no benefit whatsoever. Is just outright stupid. You know what this $400 tax gets us? Not a damn thing in Tennessee. I still got to drive up and down our highways with 2-foot potholes that are destroying my vehicle and everyone else's vehicle. You know, I got to go get my suspension fixed every 6 months. And when I go get it fixed and the mechanic gives me a bill, guess what? The government taxed the fuck out of that too. I'm a homeowner in Tennessee. I pay property taxes. Goes right to the government, right? I shouldn't have to pay this privilege tax. I'm not going to. If it costs me a license, whatever. So be it. I'll have a contingency plan in place to make sure my clients are taken care of. But this is just right and wrong. I'll go do something else. That's bullshit. It's the 4th year I think I've had to pay it. I'm not paying it. I'm not paying it. I refuse. Come June 1st, if it's not out of law, whatever, I'll live with the consequences. But I am not paying it. Again, it is against the Constitution because it's excessive and it's discriminatory. And they are not getting a dime from me. They want to send it to collections, crush my credit, whatever. I don't care. Do it. It's about right and wrong. And I'm going to be stubborn on this. I really am. Like I said, $400 may not be a lot. But hell, what are they going to do? We have 8.5% inflation this year so far. They're just going to leave it at $400? No, I guarantee next year it'll probably be more. It's not happening. They're not getting a dime from me for this tax. I am not naive on why we have taxes. I know the important role that taxes play in our country. However, our government has displayed significant financial incompetence, and they keep displaying a growing amount of financial incompetence. This shows through increased deficit spending and a skyrocketing national debt. We passed $1 trillion infrastructure deal, and I haven't seen one change. That was in November, 6 months ago, 7 months ago. Has anyone seen any benefit from this? Has anyone even heard of contracts being given out yet? Maybe they have. I don't know. But you don't need my money for it. You're going to get a bunch of money from the federal government that I'm also help paying with my taxes. You know, roughly $1 trillion worth of our tax money to come fix all the roads. So you don't need my $400 privilege tax. It is a privilege for you, the government, to have me doing business in your state. I'm not a non-resident coming in here from outside that's doing business. No, I live here. I pay property taxes here. I do everything here. And this goes for anyone in another state that has the same thing. It's wrong. It's outright wrong. I don't care what the reason is for. I don't care if the money was being used for some great cause. It doesn't matter. It's crap. And I have never seen any benefit towards commerce. It is not. What has it been used to do? Fund what? It has not done anything to make commerce in Tennessee better. The only thing it's done is probably limit competition just a little bit. It's created an unnecessary barrier to entry. It's a small source of revenue for the state. And it's a burden on me. So, like I said, come June, we'll see what happens. They aren't getting a dime from me. I'll pay my other taxes. I understand why we have the other taxes. That's fine. But see, the other thing that bothers me is taxation is supposed to fund government spending. Do you know how insulting it is? Oops, sorry. Do you know how insulting it is when these people that we've elected get up there and are spending far more money than they have available, and then go around and say that, oh, well, government spending doesn't relate to inflation. What? It's like the very definition. You're putting more money into supply, and you're not taking any money out, at least not as much. That directly correlates to inflation. And then they have the audacity to tell us that, oh, well, the bills are paid for. Yeah, by me, just not yet. So, nope, it's not happening. You know, the risk to reward for this, for me, does not matter at this point. Again, it's just right and wrong. And best case scenario for me is this bill gets pushed through, this petition gets pushed through, and they eliminate it. But I guarantee you they're going to come back and say, well, since the June 1st payment this year is for last year's business, you got to pay it. No, fuck you. You need it, you come and get it from the house. You want to take me to jail? Fine, I won't resist, but I'm not paying it. Send it to the creditors. Crush my credit, whatever, which is stupid. Think about that. The hypocrisy about this. You know, if I chose to withhold, or they can levy this tax on me, but if I chose to withhold taxes from them, like I'm kind of doing, what would they do? What happens if you don't file your federal income taxes 1 year? Well, they will scalp your wages forcefully. They will, again, charge you interest and send it to collections, possibly. Put you in jail. What else? Okay, well, if they send it to collections, that goes on your credit, which then hinder you to maybe buy a house, get a job, because all employers do credit checks, or buying a vehicle, which in the state of Tennessee, the reason I would say buy a vehicle is because, you know, let's say I didn't pay this because they're not using it to fix any roads, and the roads are destroying my car, and now I got to go get a new car, and they're keeping me from doing that. All you're doing, you know, if I was to withhold taxes, they would keep me from participating in the economy, and they fail to realize that it's the people, the private people, not the government, that makes the economy. The only reason the government is allowed to be as powerful as they are, make as much money as they do, is because we give them the privilege to levy taxes on us. But ultimately, it's our decision. We just need a lot of people to actually weigh in on that decision. And we have stupid-ass people that think, oh, yes, we raise taxes on everybody, raise taxes on the rich. They're going to pay for health care. They don't pay for the right thing as it is right now. And you want to give them more money? Our government is financially irresponsible at every single level. All they're doing with my $400 is washing it and lining their own pockets with it. That's it. People want to give our government more money. No, it starts with this. I don't care if it was $10, $15, or $500,000. They're not getting a dime for this tax. And the name itself just pisses me off. A professional privilege tax. A privilege tax. Can you believe that? Look, we have an inalienable right granted to us. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The liberty part plays into this, and the pursuit of happiness definitely plays into this, because for me, to pursue happiness is working every day, being able to have a job, being able to generate income and take care of my family. And they are restricting that by levying this tax on me for no reason. I'm okay with the barriers to entry in my industry having to take the securities licenses exams. That's fine. I get it. Having to do continuing education. I get it. You're maintaining the integrity of the industry. Fine. You want me to pay an annual fee to renew the license. Okay. And that's at the FINRA level or the state and local level, whatever that fee may be. I get it. Pay for administration costs, all that stuff. Okay, I already do that. But then on top of that, say, well, you also have to pay for the privilege to do business? No. Nope. Not happening. It's not happening. So, that's kind of what I got to say about that. Now, to transition this a little bit, last night I was on TikTok and there was this young woman that was doing a live stream. And, they asked the questions in the background, right, where they want to debate something. And her thing said, communism doesn't exist. I said, okay. She says, countries are only ruled by communist dictators, and that's why there's communism. Well, not really true. Have you seen North Korea? North Korea was actually modeled after the Soviet Union. And she goes, no, they're just run by a communist dictator. And then the stupidity really started to rain out when she said, communism is when, if I wanted to, and I didn't even let her finish this, I just exited out of it. She said, if I wanted to, go do, a dance theater or something like that, like I can do that. I can, do what I want and we're all kind of equal. And I was like, really? This is what people think communism is? No. First of all, if that was communism, that means everyone would be doing their hobby. And I don't know anyone's hobby that consists of cleaning shit out of the damn sewer. But the job has to be done, right? So if no one's willing to do that job, because that's damn sure not a hobby, what do? They fucking assign you to it. Go look at what the Soviet Union did. They assigned people to the jobs. There is no freedom. You're not going to be teaching lesbian dance theory like you think you are. You're going to be teaching how to mine coal because someone's got to get it for energy purposes. You're going to be pounding nails into wooden boards all day building stuff. Like, there's no freedom in communism. There's none. None. You know what there is in communism? The bare minimum. That's what you get. You get the bare minimum. It's proven itself time and time again. Anyone that argues it either hadn't read the Communist Manifesto, which actually states the collectivization of things, centralized planning, and putting the means of production into the people. By the way, communist societies don't have religion. Why? Because it feels that religion will cause people to act against the communist government. Because the government is the people. People seem to forget this. The government is not a separate entity that's just this power figure. The government is us. We've created that system. We vote the people in there as it is now. Communism, you don't. There's a big misconception, flawed misconception on what communism actually is, and socialism is right there. All socialism is a transition from capitalism to communism. Socialists are capitalists. They just hadn't admitted it yet. They're just not fully on board with it yet. They're on the way, though. And communism has never, ever, ever succeeded. And even if you made the statement, well, no country's fully communist, they just run by communist leaders. Well, when they're run by communist leaders, they usually are totalitarian leaders, which means they could be a full communist society, like in North Korea, which they are a full communist society, by the way. But just playing the game saying they're not, why not? He could immediately turn them into whatever it is. Why? Because it doesn't work like that. Kim Jong-un in North Korea is the result of communism. Famine. Human rights violations. All of that. Does capitalism have that? A little bit. Not really, though. Will it take advantage of certain things? Absolutely. But go look at the quality of life here and the quality of life in North Korea. Or China. It's not even close. Maybe some places in China. But like I said before, the average GDP in China is like $10,000. Per capita, sorry. The average GDP per capita here is like $50,000 to $60,000. They still have slave labor in China. They're killing, Muslims in China? Or putting them in camps because they don't like them? Forcing them into slave labor? You don't have that here. As much as people want to complain about, oppression and all that, go to these other countries and see it. It's not even close. So, that's my rant today. Kind of had a little shake up there with the whole privilege tax thing. But I think we need to realize that we aren't privileged to do anything. We have rights to do things. The only privilege I can really think of is driving a car. using the road, what do? Well, I pay a gas tax when I go buy gas. I pay property taxes and other taxes that help maintain that road. But here in Tennessee, it's not even doing that. So the way I see it, they can just go shove their taxes, all of them, right up their ass. But to have me and only 6 other industries paying a privilege tax, and what bothers me even more is I work in an industry that they deemed essential during the pandemic. So obviously it's not really a privilege. They're privileged to have me. Look, thank God they had me during the pandemic, right? Because I went to work every single day. Kept people from losing a lot of money potentially. So that's how I see it. But again, look, just be aware of things that go on. Be aware of what the government tries to take advantage of you for, and learn the role of the government and us. We are in control. We are the government. And they need to learn that they're the privileged ones, and we've given them that privilege. And we can take that privilege away. It even says so in our Constitution, our Bill of Rights, and our articles of the articles in the Declaration of Independence. We can take it away just as quick as we gave it to them. So that tax right there, that's unconstitutional, and I'm not paying it. Look, if you like the video, hit share, hit like, and hit subscribe. Thank you.